right, let's get started on the base of our blanket. And you should have your 4 colors of yarn ready. You should have the brown and the red and the white and the green. And for this, we are basically just gonna crochet in rows. You will have to print out the pattern or follow along. And you're gonna start by chaining 113. So I just wanna let you know right now for this tutorial, I'm just gonna make a swatch just because we're on video and it would take too long to make the entire base of the blanket on camera. But if you just go ahead and follow along to get used to how this is stitched up and the color changes, this tutorial is for you. So again, we're just making panels of colors, very simple. You will be following the pattern that is on yarnspirations.com. And I am going to be working up the swatch right here on camera. So let's start with the brown yarn. Okay, so I'm going to start by chaining 31. I'm just making a small swatch. You're going to want to chain 113, okay? This is written right here in the pattern. You can go ahead and print it out or follow along online. Get the free download from yarnspirations.com. So you're just going to go ahead, make a slip knot. And I'm going to make my chains. 2, 3. Okay, so I have my starting chain. Again, this is going to be very long when you do it, okay? 113 chains. Now, we're going to go ahead and single crochet in the second chain from hook. Okay, so this is my first chain. That's my second chain. Insert my hook using a size H hook as written in the pattern. And single crochet in that second chain from hook. And then we're just going to go ahead and single crochet in all of the remaining chains. All the way to the end. Okay, and here's my last chain, single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 and then I'm going to turn. And then you're just going to go ahead and single crochet in each of the stitches all the way down your chain, or all the way down your row. Okay. Very simple, just rows of single crochet stitches to make the base of this blanket. Okay. Came to the end of that second row. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn. I'm going to keep going, okay? So if you're following the pattern, you're going to want to do a total of 40 rows of the brown, okay? 40 rows of the brown. But for this, since I'm just making a swatch, I am probably only going to do about 10 rows. And then I'm going to show you how to switch colors. All right. So meet me at the end after you've made all of your rows. Again, you're going to want 40 rows. I'm going to do less in my swatch, but you're going to want to follow along the pattern to make a nice big Christmas blanket. So go ahead and crochet your 40 rows of brown, and I will meet you at the end to switch colors. Okay, so you should have come to the end of your brown panel. Again, we are just crocheting in rows. I am making a small swatch, so mine is shorter in length and in width. You should have a count of 112 stitches going across, and then you should have 40 rows. All right, so yours is going to be bigger, but bear with me. I just want to show you the basics of this. So we're done with the brown, and I'm going to go ahead. You can go ahead and clip your yarn off, leave a little bit of a tail here because you're going to want to weave this in. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up the red. This is going to be our Santa panel, and we are going to get the end here. And all we need to do is join in our yarn, okay, chain one, turn, and now just keep single crocheting. So I just single crocheted in that first stitch, single crochet in each stitch, just as we were before, but now we've added in a new color, okay. So keep going to the end of your row. And just as we did with the brown, you're going to want to make a panel of red. So you will have 40 rows of red, just as you do the brown. Again, I'm making a smaller swatch, so I have 10, so I'm going to make 10 rows of the red now. Okay, so I'm getting to the end of this. Chain one, turn, single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish my rows of red just as you should, and I'll meet you at the end to switch colors for our next panel. All right, so you should have your red panel done. So we have the brown and we have the red, and you should have 40 rows of each. This is my swatch, so I just have 10 rows of the brown and I have 10 rows of the red. So we have Rudolph, we have Santa. I'm just gonna clip this off, leaving a tail. You're gonna wanna weave this in, and then we're gonna take the white and we're gonna add it in for the snowman panel. Okay, so I'm just hooking it through that last loop. I'm gonna chain one. Be sure and leave a little bit of a tail there because you're gonna wanna weave this one in too. Okay, so I chained one, I'm gonna turn, single crochet in each stitch across. Okay. I think you guys are getting the hang of this. Hopefully you're getting the hang of the color changes. And the blanket is coming together. Okay, so we've come to the end of that row of white. We're gonna chain one, we're gonna turn, and you're gonna go ahead and make your panel of white by continuing making a total of 40 rows. I'm only gonna make 10 for my swatch, but you will have a total of 40. I'll meet you at the end of the white panel. All right, so here we are at the end of the white panel. So yours should look similar to this, except for much bigger. So we have the brown, the red, the white. You should have 40 rows of each color. And now I'm just gonna clip off that white yarn. Again, leave that tail so you can weave the ends in. We are going to get our green yarn. This is the elf panel, and like before, we are just going to slip stitch, kind of like a slip stitch, just hook it right in there. All right, take your working strand, chain one, turn, and then single crochet in each stitch. And then just as before, you're going to want to make your 40 rows. Lay this out so you can see, okay? And this will be your last panel. I'll meet you at the end of this, so just so you can see kind of the finished little swatch here, and I hope you're enjoying making the base of the blanket. All right, so you should have your 4 color panels done. Of course, yours will be much bigger, 40 rows of each color, and then we're gonna be ready to do all the embellishments to transform this into a cute Christmas character blanket. I'm gonna go ahead and snip off that little last strand of the green yarn, okay? At this point, you're gonna wanna weave in your ends, all right? So, obviously you're going to want to weave in the color block that coordinates with your strand. So if I'm going to weave in my green strand, I'm going to go ahead and start weaving in where the green panel is. All right, so I would just weave these in well with your tapestry needle, working through those stitches. That's pretty good, just so it doesn't come unraveled. And then you clip the last strand off. Just do that for all of your loose ends. So we tidy this up, and then we'll get started on the Rudolph face and continue on to finish the blanket.